Greetings, everybody. I'm Father Mike.
And I'm Seminarian Antonio.
And we are here at St. Joseph in the beautiful presence of our Lord in the tabernacle, body, blood, soul, and divinity, right here. I wanted to introduce a slight change of practice for our extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion at both St. Joseph and St. Vincent parishes. But first, Antonio.
Father Mike, what is that paper in your hand?
What is that? Good question. This paper is from Archbishop Thompson. And this paper is signed by his own pen. And it says, "Dear Father Kuchar, I have received your request for permission to be granted for the following members of your parish to serve as extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. Blah, blah, blah. With this letter, I hereby grant authorization to the following people to serve as extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion at St. Joseph Catholic Church, Shelbyville, Indiana, effective until December 31st, 2025. And then it lists their names here. And so this is for St. Joseph. A different letter is for St. Vincent. However, many people don't know that in order to be an extraordinary minister of Holy Communion, you have to have the permission of the local ordinary, which means the local bishop. Here you go, Antonio. Read the title, would you, Seminary?
Ceremonies of the Modern Roman Rite.
This is the rubrics, the summarized rubrics of the Novus Ordo. The Novus Ordo is the form of the Mass that we experience now as Roman Rite Catholics, and so is the form of the Mass that followed after Vatican II. Here's directive number 106. Near the tabernacle, Antonio, would you point to the tabernacle? On the altar of reservation, which would be this altar right here, there should be a covered vessel filled with fresh water, together with a purifier for cleansing the fingers of those who distribute Holy Communion. Now, this is called, do you remember, Antonio?
Ablution cup.
An ablution cup. And it is simply water with a hat, a top, and it lives on top of the purificator. After Masses for a weekend, the ablution cup, the water, would, as this directive notes, it should be fresh water. So at the end of the weekend's Masses, that cup would be emptied into the sacrarium, which is the pipe, the sink that goes with the pipe that goes right into the ground. It would be kind of awkward for this to be here during the Mass, especially because our extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion don't usually come this direction, and it would kind of look a little goofy. So what we're going to do is that during the communion rite, an appointed person, perhaps the deacon, perhaps the man of the altar, perhaps the server, perhaps the priest himself, will move the ablution cup and the purificator to the left side of the altar. Let's take a look. And so on the left side of the altar, and of course I mean the left as in if you're in my position looking out at everyone, because that way when an extraordinary minister of Holy Communion has finished distributing the body of our Lord, the consecrated hosts, that person would walk this way and set the bowl with any remaining hosts right here, and then will take the fingers that they've used to touch our Lord, to distribute our Lord, and if you look carefully, you will find all sorts of particles there. It happens every single Mass. Every time that I touch a host, even if it's only one host, Antonio, usually I can find some particles, which is why you often see me be very meticulous about this, because we must be meticulous. And so if our extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion are handing out Jesus, we don't want them to take all those particles back to the pews where they're going to go all over. Yeah. So then they will put the hosts here, and then they will open the top, which will already be open for you, and put your fingers in here, and then any pieces should remain in there. But then you take your fingers, your index finger and your thumb, and you simply push down on the purificator.
And one point too that might be added is that when you give out Jesus, you should try to only use those 2 fingers.
Exactly.
Don't use your pinky and all those other fingers.
Only those 2 fingers, exactly. For the priest, these are called the canonical digits.
Look at that.
And so, in any event, that way, all of the particles are gone, and the extraordinary minister would simply bow and go back to his or her seat. I think it's pretty simple, but I think this is an important change that will put us more in line with the ceremony, the rubrics, the ceremonies of the modern Roman rites. Fortunately, at both St. Joe and St. Vincent, we have an ablution cup, and fortunately for us, we will now be putting it to good use. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. God bless you.